The Unite the Right trial is exposing the chasm between who plans white nationalism's battles and who does the fighting. This story contains language that some readers may find offensive. Christopher Cantwell is among 25 defendants being sued for his role in the gathering that brought together far-right groups and racists for a weekend the main organizer had privately billed as the Battle of Charlottesville. Cantwell, who's known as the Crying Nazi, has tried to make the case that the threat that weekend from counter-protesters, including far-left Antifa activists who track white nationalists online and try to disrupt their rallies, justify the white nationalists' acts of violence. Roof had no future and so was exactly the kind of person who should be committing acts of mass murder, said Cantwell's guest, a guy from the neo-Nazi gossip blog The Daily Stormer. Cantwell agreed, not everyone's going to be a professional propagandist, shall we say. Some of us got to be fucking cannon fodder for the race war. What has become clear over 3 weeks of trial is that, for all their talk of brotherhood and unifying the white race, some in the white power movement expected others to carry out violence for the sake of their cause and considered those people disposable. It is perhaps not surprising that a movement that dehumanizes large groups of people would treat its own members with casual cruelty. Still, it's one reason they're turning on each other with spectacular bitterness in court.
Optics, friendlier packaging of white supremacy. So, who exactly was to be that cannon fodder? The Charlottesville organizers have long said they didn't know James Alex Fields, who murdered Heather Heyer with his car in the chaos after the Unite the Right rally, and that the violence wasn't their fault. But their private communications unearthed by the plaintiffs reveal the white nationalists apparently anticipated violence in Charlottesville, even as they framed it among themselves as self-defense. The white power movement has long been divided by class, a phenomenon its members call votes versus suits. By 2015, it was also divided along generational lines, which white nationalists referred to as white nationalism 1.0 versus white nationalism 2.0. Within white power, this debate is referred to as optics. The racist beliefs are largely the same, though the alt-right's misogyny has stunned old-school neo-Nazis, they've told me. In May 2017, in his first messages about Unite the Right, its main organizer, Jason Kessler, referred in a group chat to a huge brawl a month earlier between alt-right groups and anti-fascists, writing, "I think we need to have a Battle of Berkeley situation in Charlottesville." During that scrum, Nathan D'Amico, now also a defendant in the Charlottesville case, was caught on video punching a woman in the face. D'Amico had founded Identity Evropa, which members told me was intended to look like a preppy, aspirational, white nationalist fraternity. Video of the punch became an alt-right meme, and it brought a surge in applications to Identity Evropa, or ID, according to conversations among members presented at the Charlottesville trial by plaintiffs, who are funded by the nonprofit Integrity First for America. He wanted the Charlottesville event publicized so that Antifa would show up. "They bring everything they've got and we do too," Kessler said in the same chat. In fact, Kessler was deeply invested in getting Antifa to show up and fight the alt-right. He urged one white power group not to wear guns because it would be too much of a deterrent. "If you want a chance to crack some Antifa skulls in self-defense, don't open carry. You will scare the shit out of them and they'll just stand off to the side," Kessler said in a June 2017 Charlottesville planning group chat presented at trial. He advised more subtle weapons. "I recommend you bring picket signposts, shields, and other self-defense implements which can be turned from a free speech tool to a self-defense weapon should things turn ugly." Again, in the same group chat, Kessler returned to optics. "Please do not open carry. We want to avoid that optic for both the media and Antifa. We ultimately don't want to scare them from laying hands on us if they can't stand our peaceful demonstration." The alt-right is a dangerous movement. "It feeds on the chaos energy of our unchecked racism bans," Kessler said in a chat room in May 2017, closing with the slang for ironic online banter. "But in IRL activism, you have to be more like a civil rights movement for whites." Kessler continued to say he was happy to fight without the jokes to secure a future for my people. He added, "This is war." when encouraging other white nationalists to post public messages that would goad Antifa into fighting them. Kessler said in July in the Charlottesville planning group chat, "I want to talk shit, but as the event organizer I can only do so much. People need to bully side them into confronting the alt-right in Charlottesville. We can't depend on anyone outside." The hard-right Kessler acknowledged during the trial that he delegated some Unite the Right planning to Matthew Heimbach, who led the Traditionalist Worker Party, a white power group that advertised itself as working class. Heimbach is now a co-defendant. Kessler asked Heimbach to reach out to two skinhead gangs, the Hammerskins and Blood and Honor Social Club. Heimbach testified. Plaintiff's attorney Karen Dunn repeatedly asked Heimbach if he invited those groups because they were known for violence. He claimed it was to deter violence. Heimbach testified that anti-fascist counter-protesters would be intimidated by the skinheads, that they would be less likely to want to assault members of the Hammerskins than college students in white polos. That was a reference to the white polos worn by members of Identity Evropa, whose collared and khaki uniform became infamous after Charlottesville. Heimbach testified that he invited other groups to unite the right that were also more explicitly extreme or known for street fights, like the National Socialist Movement, whose members have been known to wear swastika armbands and brown shirt uniforms. The group is familiar with violence. In 2006, a member insulted another white power group at a Klan concert, sparking a brawl in which 5 National Socialist Movement members were beaten by almost 50 skinheads, the Southern Poverty Law Center reported. Its 2009 anti-immigration demonstration in Riverside, California, caused a brawl. At trial, Dunn asked Heimbach about a July 2017 private message exchange between him and a person he testified was Vanguard America's security representative for Charlottesville.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.